Well, hello everyone, welcome back to a particularly nippy Ickleton Golf Club. Got a very exciting video for you today. In today's video I'm going to be testing out a brand new rangefinder that I've been kindly given by a company called Alfar. That's the way that I'm going to pronounce it. I think with me being from South Yorkshire, having a rangefinder being called Alfar is a particularly exciting prospect. I'm going to be putting it up against my £230 Bushnell, or it certainly was £230 when it was brand new. So let's see if this offering from Alfar, which I do believe is £150 cheaper, is as good as one of its main competitors, which is a large amount more expensive. Let's get into it. Right then, so first and foremost, let's have a look at how they come. I will probably put on some footage now of me doing an unboxing of the Alfar rangefinder. How would you guys pronounce this at home? A-O-F-A-R, Alfar. So straight away, we see two very similar carry cases. I think one advantage to the Alfar one is that you've got this strap here. So Bushnell is magnetic. Open it, latches back on like that. Alfar, you have got a zip that runs all the way across, so you could go for high security in the sense that there's nothing getting out of that. However, if you're on the go, undo this little tab here, unzip it, and then if you just want to store it back on top of your bag, you would pick it out, pop it back in, and then just do that thing there. So nice and safe and secure. I quite like that. Colours wise, we've got like a black and quite striking orange colour scheme versus a slightly more bland black and grey from the Bushnell. They've both got a bag attachment, a clip on it there. Yeah, very similar. So as soon as you open it up, we've noticed the Bushnell that I've got, and the one in question is the Tour V3. Very limited in its settings, so I believe incredible for accuracy. This is the one that I've been using for a good 3 years or so now. Never really let me down, apart from when the batteries die, which unfortunately does happen from time to time. Distance wise, from this point that I've got here, I've got 122 yards. Now this Bushnell has not got the slope setting, which the Alfar rangefinder does. So we've got 122, that's just the direct distance to this flag. Let's now see how close in distance the Alfar is, and let's see if it does take into consideration that slope. The way to turn on the slope on this rangefinder is by pressing this button here. So we've got one to enable it, one to disable it. So we get an actual distance reading of 122.2. This does actually go to a tenth of a yard, so you could argue a little bit more precise than the Bushnell. Hard to argue if it's accurate or not, but on the evidence of that, it's very close, or exactly the same, just to a smaller increment. I'm now going to turn on the slope mode, and let's see what figure it gives us for when it calculates the slope as well. So it's saying that it's pretty flat, pretty level, so we've got 122 yards playing 122. I would dare say 1-0 to the AOFAR, the Alfar rangefinder in that sense, considering that it's got the slope, whereas my Bushnell currently has not. So let's see if I can stick this 122 yard shot pretty close to that flag. It's a little bit pushed, but I think distance is okay. Might just be back right. Right, there we are, not too bad. Just a little bit past pin high. Might have just kicked off the down slope there, so not too fussed, just missed the green. We've got a relatively easy chip. Let's see if we can make a 3 or a 4 now. Not too bad. Greens are running pretty nice for this time of year, you know. See if I can wedge put this in for a 4. Cool. Right then, so now as we move to the second, I'm going to talk you through a couple of technological features from the Alfar rangefinder, and I'm guessing as this next hole is downhill, using the slope setting on it could prove to be to our advantage. So we're just on the second tee now, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk you through the technological specifications, that's a mouthful, of this new rangefinder. So its full name is the AOFAR Alfar GX7N Golf Rangefinder. As you can see, it's $98.99. I'll talk to you about how to get a little bit of discount on this rangefinder a little bit later on. That in pounds sterling. That means this rangefinder that I'm reviewing, that seems to be as good, if not a little bit better than my Bushnell that was £230, is only £82.67. The MRRP for this rangefinder is £109.99, so you're already saving about a tenner. 82 quid for something that seems as good as this so far. It does seem like a bit of a bargain really. So tech and spec screen, we see the continuous scan. So it says high precision readings allow you to enjoy Click mode button to switch to scan mode, then press and hold power button to scan the target continuously, scan different objects to measure distances, as you kind of would expect on an item of this nature. Flag lock with vibration, that is something that I am noticing, so once you do latch onto that flag from any distance, you are getting a vibration to let you know that you've done so. Flag lock with pulse, so it says the advanced pin tech with pulse, press power button, then scan from far to the flag. When locked, you will feel the product vibrate and the circle will appear on the outside the flag LCD. That again is something that you can see on screen now, and that's what I'm able to see down the scope. A cost-effective rangefinder worth having, measuring 500 to 800 yards, which it does because I've tested it out previously. I've had this rangefinder actually for a couple of weeks now. The reason why I didn't dive straight into it is because I wanted to use it for myself and I wanted to see how accurate it was. I did use this. We played at a course called Forest Pines near us about a week and a half ago, and I did manage to shoot a couple under par, so it was very helpful in that sense, picking me the yardages, and I found it to be very useful when it came to that slope reading as well. Fast reading, high precision, 7 times magnification, accuracy within +1 yard, and then you can click mode to switch between meters and yards, so there is also an option for you to switch between meters and yards, which is very cool. It provides a 2-year warranty and lifetime customer support. You get a carry case, CR2 battery is standard, which you do get. It's the same CR2 battery as which you would find in Bushnells anyway, which is pretty cool. You get a lanyard, you get a carabiner, I don't know what a carabiner is. You get a cleaning cloth, which you do. You also get an instruction manual, which I have since binned as I now know how to use this. So you can see very good piece of kit for what seems to be a fraction of the price when it comes to the big boys. So we're on the second now. This is definitely downhill. It's going to be interesting to see how far it measures on the flat. It's going to be interesting to see how far it measures when it comes to that slope reading. Let's see if it helps me hit the ball really close to the flag or even get an hole-in-one, because that would be cool, wouldn't it? From a looks perspective, you'll notice that the alpha is a little bit shorter in length. Don't know if you can see that clearly. The kind of similar width. The finish on the AOFAR, the alpha, is a little bit glossier, whereas you get a bit more of a matte finish on this Bushnell. Grip wise though, both pretty good. I know battery access on this Bushnell, you twist this little cylinder out here. I don't know if you can see that. Whereas on the AOFAR, the alpha, you just pop a little cap up and that's where your battery is. Slide that back on. Batteries easily just come out in that sense like that, so pretty cool. Yeah, very similar. That's the decals on both. Only evidence that I'm seeing as to why this is a lot cheaper than the Bushnell is probably just due to the, I wouldn't even say weights put together, just the way that it looks really. You've just got a couple of like less fancy decals on it, whereas the Bushnell's a little bit more sharp, a little bit more professional in that sense. So if that means that you're going to get probably a slightly better rangefinder and it costs you £150 cheaper, I'm all for it. Right then, Bushnell first. So second hole Ickleton. With the Bushnell, we have got a flat yardage of 141 to the flag. How far now? 138 playing 127, so there is a slight discrepancy there. Again, one thing that the Bushnell doesn't have is a slope reading. Knowing that this is, I would say, semi-severely downhill, if there is such a thing as being semi-severe, it is playing 10 yards shorter, so that's information that this gives us that the Bushnell does not. I find it no easier or harder to lock onto the flag with either of these, so that's a bonus. So I'm going to go off the how far reading, 137 playing 127. That for me today in these chilly conditions is going to be a smooth pitching wedge. I've hit it pretty good, just right hand side of the green. Is it going to hit the green? Yeah, not bad. Just short right, I think. Good strike, let's see how close it is. Can't believe that didn't go in. Right then, so exciting time for you guys now. So if you would like to get your hands on this rangefinder, which is only retailing at £82.50, I think, something like that, GBP, there is a link in my description below, and if you would like an additional 5% off when it comes to your order, when you get to the checkout, make sure you type in block capitals Jack Lee Golf. That will get you an additional 5% off and an extra £4 taking this rangefinder, which is, I'm finding, compared to a £230 Bushnell, as good if not better, and it will only cost you £78. So link in the description if you would like one of these alpha rangefinders. That's pretty much been it from me today. I think in future videos you're going to see me using the alpha. I'm now going to put that in my bag and make it what I gauge my distances with. It's going to be my rangefinder of choice. Could be a really good stocking filler for most of you guys out there, so make sure you take up this cracking opportunity to get yourself as probably one of the best rangefinders on the market for only 78 quid. So remember, Jack Lee Golf at the checkout, get yourself an extra 5% off. Apart from that, that is it from me today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one. Laters.